Hello, worms.
Hi, 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 hi. Hi.
You got something you want to say?
Did you see the pictures? Did you see the pictures? Okay, they released. I know it's not about this, but
It's always about this. If you ever come to the show thinking it's
it.
not going to be about
It's
this,
always about it. Guys,
you're wrong.
did you see,
You're dead wrong.
Did you see the Vanity Fair pictures of Our Flag Means Death season 2 today? Because I did.
Yes.
Oh.
Let's pause and just we'll put a timestamp in here so that those of you who don't watch that show and don't plan on watching that show
can
don't
stop
have to
and
listen
go
to
and
us.
watch it and then
Yeah. But you don't have to listen to us ogle about it right now. So
I'll put a
here's a
timestamp right here.
4:41.
But for the rest of you who are sticking around,
So
holy rotten garbage.
I'm so, oh my god, what a day.
Holy heap of dumpster trash where I live because I'm feral about this show. How you doing, bud?
I'm not well. I'm not well. I was at work. Doing my professional job.
Your professional job.
This happened. And I had to act normal. I swear to God, all I saw was that picture of Steed on the rocks, and I immediately, I had to put my phone down. I started shaking, and I was like reading something, and I put my head in my hands, and I started crying at my desk.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was foaming at the mouth. Like, picture me getting the notification and my eyes popping out of my face cartoonishly, and there's like an awooga sound. Because again, I'm a Daffy Duck type bitch. But I was in a meeting, so I had to like stifle it. I had to like reach up and put my eyes back in their respective crevasses because like, what do I tell people on the call? No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. It's a filter. It's a filter. It's a Zoom filter, you guys. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm having a great time. Yikes. Wow. I'll tell you what, though. This whole having a job thing gets in the way of everything.
Literally.
Like, God forbid a woman wants to read Vanity Fair during the day. All day long, I'm wanting to read Vanity Fair, but I can't because there's emails.
Oh, the shaking that my hands were doing as I was proofreading that were very important that I couldn't mess up. But all I could think of was, oh my God. It's real. The show is real, and it's back, and it's real, and here's proof, and it's back, and it's real, and here we have proof. It's October, and it's coming back, and it's real because Vanity Fair said October, so like that's real.
Vanity Fair said it's real. Yeah. So the article, I think if you haven't read it yet, I would not, because it does give you a lot of insight into where the season could go. Mm-hmm. Nothing like super plot heavy.
No.
But there are definitely some references to new characters and potential character arcs that you may not want to know about yet. But I will say this without spoiling anything. I think what we learned from the article is really promising. Like, they are charting a path forward for the show that aligns with fan expectations, but not in like a pandering way. Yeah. More in like a, we respect and love you for the support you've given us, and this is our way of giving it back to you sort of way, which I appreciate.
Like, we're gonna do what you want, but like we're still gonna surprise you. And I have never trusted a showrunner as much as I did David Jenkins. I have no worries. No worries.
It's an immense risk for you to put all your faith in a showrunner, because I mean, it's so easy to be let down by the expectations you set up for a show.
I've been let down so many times.
Oh yeah, but like, this is, I mean, oh God, I hope I'm not kicking myself in the can by saying this in a couple months from now.
I don't think
but, like,
we are.
I don't think this is one of those shows. It's very rare. Like, I will, acknowledging that it's so rare that you have a piece of work where there is like intention and love all the way through, there is a consideration for the fans, or sensitivity to their needs and desires, and I feel like this is like that show. This is the blueprint,
Yeah. Yep.
Now let's pivot to talk a little bit about another show where it feels like there's a lot of love and intention put into the creation of it. What We Do in the Shadows, episode 8.
Wow.
Wow.
It's almost over.
It's almost over. It's like we just started, but really it's like FX contained the entire show in like 1 month.
They really did.
What are your immediate reactions to this episode, Caitlin?
So I really liked that Laszlo was taking a backseat. I was like, oh, he's not going to say anything? Like, it's so rare that he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Other than, yes, very good, thank you.
Yeah. If you'll excuse me.
Yeah. They're like, Matt Berry's been carrying this show. We got to give him like a week off.
Give him a break.
Just give him a little break.
Give my guy a break.
So I was a little intrigued by that. And then I will say that when the roast actually started happening, I was like, ugh, is this going to be kind of mid? This is going to be like another mid episode. Because I'm like, there's already a couple of jokes that I saw coming. Like when the guide was like, we should do a roast. And then Nadja perked up. I'm like, she's going to say we should do a roast. But then Colin's like, we should do a roast. And they stole the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, the jokes write themselves.
Someone says an idea and then someone else says the same idea bit. I feel like that's a bit that gets recycled a lot in the 20-minute, 30-minute sitcom. So it was, yeah, I don't know. That one didn't land for me either.
Yeah, I'm over the guide being treated like shit. I don't think we need characters like that anymore. I don't think it's funny anymore. But then the show picked up really quickly with the whole Baron and Guillermo plotline. So I'm like, oh, we're moving the plot forward. Okay, I can work with this.
My initial reaction was that it was going to be a Laszlo-centric episode. And then when it wasn't, I was surprised because that was kind of one of my expectations for this season. Even though he does carry a lot as supporting cast, is that maybe we'd dive more into some of the stuff that's going on in his life, just outside of everything that he's doing for the people around him. And then when things shifted in a different direction, I will say I'm impressed because I did not expect any of what actually did happen.
Yeah.
I love when a show's descriptive is like, oh, like character A and character B start an ice cream stand, and then it turns out that the whole time that's happening, character C is literally like body farming. So it's like,
what is body farming?
Oh, by the way, it's so funny to me when that happens.
What is body
but
farming?
I did like that they cared about each other so much. Yeah.
What is body farming?
Is that not when like you have cadavers and you put them in like a farm.
I know this isn't a hobby of mine. So
they kind of grow back into the earth, right? I feel like that's something that I'm.
Not a term.
Body farm. Yep. A body farm is a research facility, according to Wikipedia, where decomposition of humans and other animals can be studied in a variety of settings.
Oh, for science, not for pleasure. Okay.
Yeah, body farming, America's pastime.
Now I know. Okay, continue.
Yeah, but I will say I do like how much they show care for Laszlo in this episode. It was kind of a nice reminder when they were all trying to get him riled up again, that, the show about assholes is also about love, Yeah.
I love being reminded they're a found family. It's very, very sweet.
And I also will add Matt Berry's acting in the roast scene was probably the highlight for me. Yeah. Because it just really got me. Like, every time I looked at his face, I yucked because he's typically so animated. So just seeing him so checked out was so off-putting. He looks like me at my job every day. Like, just staring into an abyss of nothingness. Staring into the void.
I think what makes it even funnier now is, like, knowing why at the end of the episode, like, why he was like this, where he was just trying to figure out the entire episode, like, do I organize my library by, alphabetical by author or by book title?
No, literally, because you're so used to reading into everything that happens on these shows. Mm-hmm. So when you've got this character that's acting so out of pocket, your expectation is it's got to be something really deep and profound. And he was just like, no, I'm just a girly worried about my books.
I'm just trying to organize.
Yeah. So you mentioned you didn't care for the roast very much. I would have to agree with you there. I think it was surprisingly, I thought it was going to be my favorite part of the show, having read the description beforehand. It ended up not being super engaging to me.
Yeah, I think it's just like, it's one of those like repetitive things. Like, when you watch the show long enough, you kind of know what to expect, which is like fine sometimes, but like when it's supposed to make you laugh and you know what the jokes are going to be, it's like, okay, I get it. It's mid. And I don't know if maybe it's because, like, we're so late into the season where it's, like, I just need the plot to progress more than I need, like, the one-off episodes to make me laugh. Like, make me laugh. Obviously, this is a comedy show, but also, like, let's move it forward because we only have 2 episodes left and there's so much that needs to be done in technically like 40 minutes now. So, like, what are you going to do? So when the guide like was like, because the bear didn't get the joke, like I felt really bad because it really sucks to be left out of a joke that you don't understand. So I told him how the Guillermo almost killed him, and I was like, okay, let's go.
Say more about that. Yeah.
The look on Doug Jones's face as the Baron when he just like eyes Guillermo like, excuse me, was so funny.
There he is, the highlight of the episode for me.
Yeah.
Doug Jones. Did he resonate with you the most in this episode too?
Yeah, he did. He really did.
He slayed. When he decides to go up and confront everybody, and Nandor says, "Please welcome a man who knows a lot about sick burns," and there's just an intense zoom on his face. I laughed out loud. That was my favorite bit from the entire episode.
Really, really, really good.
I love a quick zoom. You can take me out of the office, but you can't take the office out of the girl.
You can't take the office. Before we get more into the Baron, I will say, because Sean was there, he made his quick little appearance. I love that he seems to be like a fan favorite of all of the vampires. And the Baron is like saying like how the vampires in the house are like, you're not even real vampires, like you invited a human here, like who does that? Well, actually, Sean, I really like Sean, he's pretty chill. He could stay. I take that back, that's my bad.
I also feel like we get another hint that maybe there's some buildup, maybe not, maybe it's just a running joke, but there is like something going on with Sean, where they're hypnotizing him again and they're just like, and it'll work,
it always does.
It'll work, it'll be fine. It makes me wonder, like, is there some plotting for next season that's like, oh, Sean remembers everything and that's going to become a big deal at some point?
I would like that.
Or, I mean, it is by itself hilarious that he very well could remember everything, but just kind of like is persistently okay with it for some reason.
And I feel like that's how it would go because Sean is already so nonchalant about everything that they do. He just goes, yeah, you guys are just like that. Anyway, moving on to our next thing. Like, he's just like, this is how you are, and I accept you for who you are. And I feel like if he remembered everything, he'd be like, yeah, you guys are vampires. Big whoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
You coming to my football party? Like,
I like that in that scene where the Baron criticizes Sean, he's basically coming through like a family member at Thanksgiving who is nipping at everyone's haunches to say some problematic shit. Yeah. Like, he's just like ready to go out there, and like that's something from earlier seasons, because in earlier seasons it's established that the Baron is kind of like a traditionalist. Like he likes things the way they used to be for vampires, and the world has changed, and being a vampire in modern America is so different now from what he knows, and he saw an opportunity to bitch about that, and he took it after, and this is something that they acknowledge at the end of the episode, after spending so much time acclimated to that lifestyle.
Right.
So I just think that's funny.
I love it.
I think Doug Jones is just such an incredible character actor. I think that he was the most engaging bit of this episode for me for many reasons. First, the scene where he kicks Nadja and Nandor off his coattails and then lifts the car up.
That was so funny.
I wanted more of that. I really wanted more of him using his magic as a vampire. I was like, that was the moment during the episode where I was just like, whoa, you know. Whoa.
I just like that Nadja and Nandor were like dragged by his cape like little toddlers that are like holding on to like their dad's leg, like, please no, daddy, please, let's go. And
I like that you couldn't tell, like, it could have been, they could have used like dummies. It was very likely not them on the stairs, but that's what made it even funnier, because that was kind of, I mean, I could be wrong, but it looked like that, which made me laugh a bit more. Like, I love when there's like, they utilize a dummy for like special effects purposes, but it's very obvious that it's a dummy. Like, it's not a stunt person. Like, it just makes me, there's something about that never gets old to me.
Like when they pushed Colin Robinson over when he was like drained the other, like earlier in the season, and you just hear like a bonk when he hits the ground.
The plastic. Yeah. The delivery of "Yes, Snake" is so funny to me.
Yeah.
When him and Guillermo are both tied to the chairs. I laughed out loud at that. I thought that was really good.
I like that they were both tied down to the chairs, and that like the Baron was in these chains, and Guillermo was just like kind of haphazardly
in a
wrapped
loose rope.
In a loose rope.
He's not going anywhere.
He's like, you can get out of there. It's fine. I also like before that when the guy was just like, I kind of feel like this is my fault. Like, I did let slip that Guillermo killed the Baron, and she just goes, "That's on me." Like, there's something about like characters who are always very clearly in the wrong, just like kind of nonchalantly like being like, "That's on me, guys. Like, I'll take the blame." It's like, yeah, you should, because it is on you. Like,
I was intrigued by the fact that she's present when Guillermo admits that he's a vampire to the Baron, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I won't tell anybody." And then he just kind of looks at the camera, because it's like, girl, you just let so much slip.
She's so unaware of herself.
So unaware of herself. That's fair. Are we all just a little unaware of ourselves? I also like the bit where Guillermo and the Baron are talking. I just kind of, it felt like we were building up to something, but I wasn't sure what. And because I have a lot of anxiety, I was worried it was going to be like the Baron saying, "I'm actually going to kill you now." But it was completely the opposite when Guillermo opens the door and immediately lights the Baron up again.
I laughed so fucking hard. Because it tricked you. Like, I was like so into the moment of like, this is such a serious moment, and they're having like a heart to heart, and they're talking about things that we'll see played out in the last 2 episodes of like, and like the Baron's telling like, you need to tell Nandor at some point, like he needs to tell it from you, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so wonderful and heartfelt and lovely. And then just the way he nonchalantly just like, well, you don't want any accidents again, and opens up the door to pure sunlight.
Great comedic timing.
It's like one of those like, you should have seen it coming, but it was so good.
It's so funny. I think I laughed more this time when it happened than the first time. Like the first time I was like, oh no.
It was like shocking.
But this time I was like, this is actually like the fact that it happened again. The fact that it happened again. I have 2 nickels.
2 nickels.
2 wars. Should we move on to talk a little bit about some of the Nandermo moments in the episode?
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's why everyone's here.
Please. That's why we're all here, just to suffer.
So that was a pretty compelling case for Nandermo, if I do say so myself.
I mean, it's not helping. You sure can't look at that and be like, nothing on.
Nothing's going on
Nothing's going on there. What's going on? First of all, I had one of my favorite tropes. Character A thinking character B is dead when they're actually not dead. Loved it.
Wow.
Loved it so much. I loved the worry about him. I loved him like pulling him into his lap and like crying over him. More of that. I mean, not with Guillermo being dead, but more of that worry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the whole time, like everything that happened, I was like nodding.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right, yep,
I was watching it. I'm like, this is a great day for me.
It really. I mean, they're going for it. Like, there should not be. If you're at home and you're watching this and you're like, oh, will they? Won't they? No, they
gonna.
will. Like,
they will.
They're going for it. There's a payoff here.
Give them a bit, but they're going for it.
They're going for it.
I'm sorry, the card? The card that he gave him?
Oh, and the fact that Nandor knew the exact words and mouthed them as Guillermo was talking. Yup. Which is another one of my favorite bits in comedy. But in this specific scene plays so soft. Like, wow.
He mouthed the word. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Really? Wow.
Yeah, cares about Guillermo enough to know what was in the card. Like, and to be able to repeat it back at the same time that Guillermo. Yeah.
And he goes, that's close enough.
Yeah. I was literally sitting there like, yep, say more about that.
For me, it's characters that make it seem like they're so nonchalant, like, oh, I don't care about that mushy gushy stuff, or
I don't
like,
care.
I have this
I don't
hard
care.
exterior.
In denial.
I'm in
Yeah,
denial.
in
Like, I'm
denial.
too tough for this shit. But then they actually, like, those little details, like, why would he remember the contents of a card on their first day together?
Yep.
Because it means so much to him. And
Yep.
his face when Guillermo came out of the coffin. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh my God.
fuck?
I don't know how to GIF, but I'm gonna teach myself how. I'm gonna like, oh my God. Oh, that's gonna be a moment from this season, I think.
Yeah.
Just the face, the recognition, such a small moment. Like something I think you wouldn't even notice in case you're looking for it, but just the realization
Yeah.
that his friend is not dead.
And he's here. Because, like, he
it's
had that whole
bad.
moment where he's looking out the window being, like so sad. And being like, I hope
Yeah.
wherever he is, he's okay. And, like...
Yeah. And he's like mixing in those little jests, like, oh yeah, I told him to dust, da, 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 da. But like, you know what's going on.
He's
like,
really sad about it.
yeah.
He's
Also
hoping.
the little detail of Nandor holding Guillermo's sweater.
Don't. Don't.
Come on now.
No.
Come on.
No.
Wow.
What? I'm already too weak. From the other show. I can't do it. I started my day off with one show, and I'm ending my day with this one, and there's too much going on for me to not explode. And I'm already
Too
there.
much. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Holding onto
Just
his sweater.
and I kept waiting for the setup for that. I was like, oh, why? And obviously it's the Baron picks it up to gather the scent, but it doesn't explain anything about why Nandor's holding it
Yeah.
at all.
Why?
So it's literally just like a comfort thing for him, which is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Compels me though.
Compels me though.
Oh my God.
And just
Yeah.
the fact that we got that scene at the end of this episode, knowing there's only 2 episodes left, and that we're gonna get them back to back next week.
Yep.
And he's gonna find out, and it's I don't know how it's gonna go.
Do you think that Nandor is going to find out at the end of this season?
Yes.
Or do you think it's going to be unresolved? Okay.
If he doesn't find out, I'm gonna be really pissed because
Yeah, I think that would just be
we spent
oof.
all this time, like, of everybody else finding out except for him. Like, now literally everybody knows, including the Baron. Nandor needs to find out, and if there's not that, if he doesn't by the end of the season, I feel like that would be very disappointing.
Would you be satisfied if it's the last thing that happens?
If he finds out, but then it ends,
Cut to black. Yeah.
and we don't see his reaction, no, I would not be
Yeah.
satisfied. I need to see it. Because that's the thing that I've been looking forward to all season is Nandor finding out and then seeing his reaction, and like, how is that all gonna happen? Because like, I think we all know he's not gonna actually kill Guillermo, and he's not gonna actually kill himself. But like, something's gonna happen to the point where the last episode is titled Exit Interview. Who's leaving? Is it
Yeah.
Guillermo, or is Nandor gonna take a trip away to like leave? Like,
Nandor's going to a farm upstate.
he's like, you know what? Here's why I need the resolve is because he talked so much in this episode about how loyal Guillermo is to him and how much he cares about him, like, to the Baron.
Yeah.
And the Baron's like, are you sure about that? And Nandor's like, yeah, it's great. Everything's fine.
I'm sorry. Is he though? And Colin's face in the background, just knowing. So
good. But like, when that is set up for Nandor to like when everyone else knows the truth but him, and he's saying all the things that we know are not true, but he believes is so true about this person that he cares so much about, his best friend, even like the person that he loves, perhaps, like, if he's saying all of these things and he believes it so wholeheartedly, when we the viewer know it's actually there's a huge thing that makes that so untrue, and to not get the flip side of it, for him to realize, oh, I put so much faith in you and you broke that and you broke my trust. I need it. I said last episode, I want angst. Like, there's no tomorrow, even though it will hurt me. I need it. I want it. I think the next episode should be Nandor finding out, like, either midway through or towards the end of the episode, and for the last episode to be like the fallout of it, and like what does that mean for the two of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've waited for it all season. Withholding that release any longer would be, I mean, borderline sadistic, first of all, but also it's the setup, it's the setup for the season. I think when you take a step back and you look at the season as a whole, that's what you want to see. Otherwise, it's like, it'll probably feel a little incomplete, or it would feel a little incomplete.
It would, yeah. And I think that it would be huge for their relationship too.
Oh yeah,
because of like just the betray of trust. That's a huge thing. Like they've hurt each other before, sure, but like,
yeah,
this is so. I feel like this is such a huge scale, especially to Nandor, because he literally said, "I would kill you and then myself." Like that's such a huge thing. Like you can't not show that this season, because the next season, if it's the last season, I'm not quite sure how far in advance that they're renewed, but like. The next season would have to be the resolve from that.
And we've been told over and over again that, like, this is the thing, like, it's kind of been ingrained in us over the course of season 5 that, like, if Nandor finds out about this, then it's kind of like it's over for them, Yeah. And in this episode alone, Nandor sets up these expectations he has of Guillermo as being someone who would never betray him, who's completely loyal to him. And we're about to see the fallout from that. And I think so long as that's what happens, I think it's going to be more satisfying than like any scenario where there's a jealous person who has been cheated on or anything more romantically. Like last season when Guillermo had a boyfriend, we were all really excited about the potential of like a jealous Nandor, and things went in a really different direction. However, I think this is more compelling than that trope, like the jealous romantic trope, because it runs so much deeper. It's like choosing to be made a vampire by someone who's not your familiar is such a taboo in vampire culture that it could completely ruin everything. And I'm really interested to see the execution of that over these next 2 episodes.
Yeah, because I think it's one thing to be jealous, but to have a character have to rewrite what they think about another person in their head because they've done something so catastrophic. Oh, I eat that shit up. It's so good. It's tasty. This is why I read fan fiction. Because it gives me the emotions that I want. And it's tagged "Angst with a happy ending," and I know it's going to be okay.
And I'll say that I think like this is unique because what you would expect is like a very fan fiction-y plot line where there's like another person involved and Nandor's jealous or whatever. But this, I don't think I could ever write something like this. I don't. Maybe that exists already on Archive of Our Own, but I just think this is such a unique idea. Like, I didn't see us moving in this direction this season, so I have high expectations. Like, I feel like the payoff is going to be great.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm like really excited for next week, and I'm so glad that they're airing them together, because I think the wait would probably be agony, and I think it might just help them in the fact that like they're being aired together. Like I feel like it's gonna work better together.
Yeah. Absolutely. How are you feeling at the end of this very interesting week?
The whole week?
I mean, fine, today.
Girl, I feel unhinged. Like, this has been a day. I was reassured that my favorite show was real. I got some really good Nandermo content. I have
Things can change in a moment. One day you could be watching Ben Wyatt thirst edits, and the next you could be continuing to do that, but also learning new and fun, interesting things about your favorite shows. So join us next week when we wrap this up. It has been so much fun talking about this show with you all.
Heck yeah.
And hearing all of your feedback,
I
especially
love
on
feedback.
TikTok. Please keep giving us feedback, but no bullying.
I just love all of the comments that are just like everyone just screaming together. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, a big collective scream. I like that too. Yeah.
We all need a big collective scream.
I'll send out a Facebook event invitation to everybody.
Thank you.
An Outlook calendar invite.
Yay!
Thanks for being here.
Our endings don't get better, but that's part of the charm, baby. Have a great week.
Have a enchanted week.
Oh, way to one-up me.
I'm tired of living in your shadow.
Oh, so that's what you do in the shadows.
what I do in Caitlin's shadow. Live in it. I've got a summer home there.
And I'm raising the rent. Goodbye.
Bye.